Hi Virgo, welcome to your February reading. Now, it's the month of love. We've got Valentine's Day this month, which is always exciting. I adore Valentine's. So, in that respect, we're going to do some love readings. First off, these are general readings, so they won't resonate for everybody. If it's not your message, please move on, check out some other readers on Instagram, on YouTube, and find the one that resonates for you. If you would like to book a private reading, you will find in the description box down below my email and my Instagram handle. You can either send me a message on Instagram or you can email me and we can get a private reading booked in. Now today we are going to be doing two readings. We're going to do one for the relationship Virgos and then we're going to do one for the single Virgos. So first off, I'm going to be using the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot. Again, all the links will be in the description box below so you can check those out. And then we're going to use the Light Seers to have a look at what's happening for your person. And then for the singles, we're going back to my old favourite, my new favourite, my all-time favourite, This Might Hurt. So, Virgos, what is happening for those of you in relationships? Okay, so your first card out you've got is the Queen of Swords. Now, my feeling with this is not that you are... It's not that you're unhappy in your relationship, but you've got a mode where you're kind of turning your back on stuff, and it's giving you a sense of freedom to ignore things. Like by being able to cast everything behind you and not take everything into account and just ignore it and find that sense of peace. It is bringing you tranquility, but the trouble is if you ignore things, then you're not dealing with them. And it comes back to that thing of if you don't go through the emotions, if you get stuck in the emotions, then you become exhausted and you don't progress and you don't move on. And that for me is what it feels like. Now, what I also think you're ignoring, unfortunately, is we've got the Hierophant in reverse, so you're ignoring doing the right thing. And being open with yourself, being honest with yourself, like, because for me, the Hierophant in reverse, where this is, it's there's two birds with two heads, or it might be a two-headed bird, but it's a way of keeping an eye on both things, both ways, whether it's the future, whether it's the past, whether it's what's going on in front of you, whether it's what's going on behind you. Like in the upright, that Hierophant is able to take all of those bits of information into account and process everything and make sure you stay on the right track and make sure your values are correct and values that you're happy with. But it feels to me like this month you're turning your back on all of those things. You're turning, maybe you feel that trying to live with healthy values hasn't worked out for you. So as a result, your sense of freedom and peace is to ignore it. And we all want that sense of inner peace. We all want it. But I don't think we get it by ignoring what's right. Now, in your later half of the month, it looks as though you've got, with that Seven of Swords in reverse, that you start getting a little bit more honest about what's going on. Now that for me, because this Seven of Swords in the upright is, I love this character. I think she's just one of those people that is absolutely done with a situation. She's out there, she's moving on. So there's a moment of you hesitating to leave, and I don't know, maybe you want to leave, maybe you don't. There's two ways you could take it. It's either that you want to leave and you're not strong enough yet, that you're ignoring the emotional sense of wanting to leave and sticking with what you know and making it comfortable. But we've then got that backed up with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse as well. So in the upright, this is a lovely card. It's a happily ever after moment. It's finding the peace, finding the joy, being able to really enjoy everything that's happening and everything that life has to offer you. But it doesn't really feel like you're getting there. And unfortunately, when I say we'll have a look at what's going on for your partner as well, but it just feels like okay. was saying it just feels like you're not ready to move on. And on the bottom of your deck, you've got the Judgment in reverse. So there's also a feeling that, you know, where you are is not making progress at all. Now, with regards to your partner, over your Queen of Swords, so you are, where it feels like you're ignoring things, where you're turning your back on everything, where you're just shutting down and being blinkered and tunnel vision and like, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm not worried about anything else. That is coming up as a Six of Pentacles in reverse for your partner. So it feels a bit like they're, you know, you doing that, it also feels like you're ignoring them. And they're aware of it, they're feeling it, and they're not enjoying, they're just not happy with what's going on. I just feel like they're, you know, they're on a bit of a downward spiral. And unfortunately, I do feel that it's you that's causing that. Because you're not paying them the attention that they actually deserve. Like if you're in a relationship with someone, you know, the attention is important. On the top of your Hierophant in reverse, they're coming up as the King of Pentacles in reverse. So again, you know, it feels like you're not really doing the right thing, and as a result, they're not really doing the right thing. You know, I just want to also take a moment for the fact that both of these cards, the Ten of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles in reverse, are both, you know, old men with their dogs. It's very much the fool at the end of his journey of what, you know, what's happened, and it feels like it's either that you are both in a situation where you're accepting that what you've got isn't happily ever after, but it's not bad enough to move on. And the tricky part with that is are you missing out on something better? And you might not be. Listen, there's a lot of people who will think they're missing out on something better and will move on and realise that they made a mistake and end up going back. Not a bad thing. But then over the top of your Ten of Pentacles, where I was saying, you know, it's you giving up on your happily ever after, they're also coming up with the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So I don't feel like they have any fight left in them at the moment. They don't have any energy to try and reason with you, to try and improve the situation. But then what's really interesting for me is over the top of your Seven of Swords, where I was saying, you know, you're not going anywhere, you're not ready to get out of the situation. They've also come up as the Eight of Cups in reverse as well, so they are also not ready to get out of the situation. And I'm not saying it's unhappy, the situation. What I'm saying is there's no Lovers, there's no Two of Cups, there's none of the great cards that you want. The only Cups card you've got is the Eight of Cups in reverse, which, you know, in the upright is a fantastic card. I love this in the upright because it's progress, it's moving forward, it's taking your emotions seriously. But the only emotional card you've got in this relationship spread for you Virgos is really that neither of you are taking the emotions seriously. Not that you're not taking it seriously, but the emotions are not what counts for you guys. Yet you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, half of your cards are Pentacles related. Read that as you will. Anyway, I hope that helps. Also, sorry, your person on the bottom of the deck has got the Hanged Man. So again, do you know what? They're kind of happy where they are. And when I say kind of happy, I mean content and not, you know, they're not unhappy enough to move on. They're just kind of willing to keep going with what they're doing. Okay, right, let's move on to singles. Single Virgos. First, we're going to have a look at who you can be looking out for. So we're going to have a look at what is, who's potentially coming towards you, who you should be keeping an eye out for, and then we're going to have a look at how you can be ready for this next relationship. Okay, so you could have a Taurus because you've got that Hierophant, but you've also got 2 Cups cards. Now you've got 7 of Cups and a Page of Cups in reverse, so there could also be a water sign, so Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But I feel like it's also someone who is, do you know what? It's going to be someone I think that kind of annoys you a little bit because you've got that 5 of Wands. So it's not like an argument. But it's someone I think who is like riles you up a little bit. You know, like when your a sibling kind of gets on your nerves, or like a puppy is so excitable, but sometimes it's like, oh my god, just chill out a minute, like leave me alone for 5 minutes, please. I've got stuff to do. I feel like there's going to be that kind of bickering about this person. They're going to kind of just, they're going to bug you before you realise that you actually like them. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, when something like, it's sort of that playground mentality, where someone, you know, you're like, oh my god, they're so annoying, and then suddenly you're like, why are they bugging me so much? Do you know what it is? It's because I'm interested. It's because I'm invested in this person, because I want this person. That's how I feel like it's going to click in for you, Virgos. So how can you be ready for this relationship? Okay, we've got a devil card. Now, you know, the devil card I know gets a pretty bad rep. And rightly so, because there is a way of, you know, falling into those habits. And like I always say with this card, it's very much like it's that partying mode. It's not so much about, you know, addictions and bad, I mean, there is a part of that. But for me, it's more about like getting out and actually having fun. Cut yourself loose a little bit, Virgo. Let yourself have some fun. Because the thing is, when you start having fun and you start enjoying yourself, people will start to be around you. Now, as I always say, partying is great, but the party also has to end at some point. You have to go back to work on Monday. You know, you have your weekend to cut loose, but you know it's a time-sensitive issue, time-sensitive situation. So in order to get ready for this relationship, I think you need to have a little bit of downtime where you just, maybe you've been really focused on trying to get a relationship and you actually just need to cut loose and just enjoy yourself a little bit more. Now, I'm not saying go down addictive bad habits, but what I am saying or suggesting is give yourself the freedom to enjoy yourself, whatever it is that you do. And that, you know, that could be something really dull in other people's opinions. I love a jigsaw. Love a jigsaw. And I feel like last year when everyone was in lockdown, I was like, oh, doing jigsaws on Instagram. And I was like, hey, I always do jigsaws. Back off. Don't all start doing it now because it's cool and you're locked in your houses. You know, but for me, there's something therapeutic about literally sitting looking for pieces. Anyway, so one of the things I think you can do to get ready for this relationship for the single Virgos is to give yourself that freedom to be carefree, to go for a run, you know, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, going out and dancing in the rain, making a snowman, doing whatever it is that might seem a little bit silly to some people, but what lights you up inside, make sure you have time to do that, to be free and just make your own decisions and not worry about how it impacts on other people. You know, maybe you've been in a relationship for a long time and you've been constantly thinking about how your own actions impact on other people. Give yourself a break. Have some time out to just do what you need to do. Because then when someone comes in, you're ready. You've had your fun. You've done what you needed to do. You've cleared out your cobwebs and just had that freedom. But the other thing we've got is we've got 7 of Wands in reverse and a 7 of Pentacles. Now listen, this combination for me is lovely. I love 7s, but 7 of Wands in the upright is quite, like, I want to say almost aggressive in its nature. It's very much like that argumentative mentality, like don't start, I'm fully armed, I'm fully ready to go. Don't come for me. So we've got to get over that first and foremost. We've got to make sure that actually we take time to really focus on what we have got, rather than thinking everything is a personal attack, rather than feeling like, you know, like if someone asks you something, like I have a classic example, my old flatmate used to laugh at me because if she was cooking and she chopped something a different way, I'd be like, is that how you do it? And I was genuinely just intrigued because I was like, oh, a different way of chopping something, whereas she always took it really personally and felt I was like going, oh, is that how you chop your carrots? You know, it's one of those things. That is 7 of Wands energy. Being on the defensive all the time. So I think we've got to try and calm the defenses down, calm down that fiery mentality where you just, you know, someone says something and it triggers you and you go in and you defend yourself, because we don't always need to defend ourselves. We don't, you know, we don't always need people to hear our side of the story. Actually, what we need to do is focus on what we've got, focus on what we've grown, focus on what we can achieve, and actually how much we have achieved already. And that will help us be ready for the next partner. Anyway, Virgos, I hope that helps. As I said at the beginning, these are general readings, so they won't all resonate. If you would like to book a private reading, everything is in the description box down below. Take care, I'll see you soon. Bye.